Singapore's Year Rewind. Woo!
Yay!
What percentage of Singaporean workers live paycheck to paycheck?
That's way too much.
What is the leading cause of death among Singaporeans? How much does the average Singaporean spend on dating?
It doesn't matter at all. There are these guys that go around and do the dab, then they rate it. You just walk up to a random dude and dab me up, right? Then like, pop, then like, wow, damn satisfying. It's a 10
Can
out
you
of 10.
dab me up?
Let's go.
Yeah, get it.
Wait,
No, it's like 7.
we go near the mic.
No!
Happy New Year!
Hey!
Some of us had good dabs and some we didn't, just
Bad
like our year 2025. Anyway, it's that time of the year. You've seen your Spotify Wrapped, your Google Year in Reviews and your YouTube recaps, but Singapore doesn't have one specifically for us, so we took the responsibility upon our shoulders
Nice.
to do Singapore's Year Rewind. Woo!
Yay!
So we're gonna have a bit of a game portion to it where we're gonna go through the most shocking or interesting facts according to statistics, because we are
Nice.
scientific. And then we will also cover what were the most hotly debated or controversial topics in Singapore this year.
Nice.
Welcome to our New Year special!
Let's go!
Sounds like episode you can play during your parties.
Yeah.
You can play along too.
Play this.
Hello, auntie. Hello, uncle. Sorry for impressing.
So essentially, I found some interesting statistics online, and then we are gonna play a game and see who gets the closest, who knows Singapore the best.
We live games.
Ayo.
Question 1.
Okay, so fast.
I've never answered.
It just jumps into
Wait, I've
it.
never been on the end of this side.
Hey.
How much does the average Singaporean in 2025 spend on dating in a singular month? So what's the monthly average that's spent on dating?
Okay. So you all both grab $20. Then you all go to a kopitiam. Nowadays not cheap. You buy 2 meal plus drink.
I
Then
think
after you go,
lifestyle inflation,
ice
rabak.
cream.
A lot of talking, not a lot of writing, this
Yeah.
guy.
Based on your calculation, let's go.
It's 706.
683. Okay.
1,100.
Wow.
We spend according to our means here.
Says a lot about all of us.
Yeah, I don't know what this says about all of us.
Raja is
I don't have that much
actually
time
the
to-
closest.
Wow.
Because
The
it's
answer
100.
is $450
Oh.
to $500.
It doesn't math. It doesn't math at all.
Honestly, he wanted to get it right. He could put 450, but he wanted to put 6-7.
It doesn't math.
At your age.
It does.
Even the
does.
poorest denominator of dating people, right? Like the students, will spend more than this in a month.
I
No.
take MRT to Ang Mo Kio Hub, and then we eat sushi from, I don't know, Fair Price. Then that's like $10 what?
Also, you're not counting because this is how much Singaporeans pay. So if one side don't pay, like the girls don't pay, it
Oh, it
averages
divide by
down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this is due to actually a rise of this thing that they call micro dating. Have you heard of it?
No.
Explain.
So it was actually a 2025 survey that found that majority of Singaporean singles agree that small everyday expressions of love count as affection and has affected dating culture. Essentially, it's like instead of like date night, right? They consider things such as like grab a quick coffee or simply sending a meme or sharing your music playlist as like they call it micro-mens.
Sending a meme is micro dating.
You used to send mixtapes. Now you send a meme, it counts as a...
Micro dating, isn't that just normal?
That's just
Yeah,
hanging
yeah.
out.
It's
Or
like texting.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's like they call this whole thing like micro retirement. It's just going on holiday.
No, sabbatical. That's what it is.
It's
Life
a
has not
busy.
changed much. We just give it new names. Like last time we would just say I don't know, but now we must say 6, 7. What the what's why is there?
Okay, you clearly don't know what it is.
No, why? Okay, there is no meaning to it.
No,
We'll get to it at some point.
there's
in
a
this, I feel.
backstory.
We'll get to it.
I know the backstory,
Okay,
but there's still no meaning to it. It's from the music video. I've googled it 5 times, so I keep forgetting. And I refuse to accept that it has no meaning. It makes me realize, like, for example, if it's more culturally relevant to the US because of certain music videos that were popular there, how did it get to our shores such that it's so crazy in Singapore classrooms that schools are banning it? There are fast food that the queue number just stop. They will skip 6, 7 because the young people just wait, then they will start screaming. And it just makes us feel like
They have nothing to live for.
it's super sheepish. It's super sheep behavior because we don't know what we are shouting anymore, but we want to shout to belong. Like, to me, it's super sad.
But I think the best explanation I could think of, right, was when someone explained it to me, it was like the world is Wall Street Bets. Wall Street Bets decided that, hey, let's go and short something all together, right? Because that's just something that we can do and just try. And then it ended up happening. So all the kids of the world are just saying, hey, let's just make this meaningless thing meaningful and let's see if it happens. And it really ended up happening.
6-7 is the evolution of language and how some things that have no meaning, right, can annoy people to such an extent, right, that they become something.
Wasn't it
When-
like the dabbing?
Yeah, okay, exactly like that. It was just something that they were doing, right, and then it was so like whatever, but people got annoyed by it. And tend to be the older people got annoyed by it. So the
Okay.
kids are like, oh, let's do this. It annoys the shit out of
It's
them.
dabbing, okay.
It's dabbing.
I see the
Yeah.
equivalent of dabbing.
It's linguistic
Yeah.
dabbing.
It's the calculator in class that everybody type boobies.
No, I think you lost me again.
Yeah, you just.
I think I did not count that part.
We got it at dabbing because you cannot point to the correct time of when to dab. It's
Just
not
anything
for
also
a
can.
picture, it's not for a year, there's no one correct moment to dab.
But there's a correct moment to 6-7 what?
No, but there was also application of people trying to look cool, trying to dab and doing it wrongly, just like 6-7. Like clearly once politicians start doing it, it's like,
Like
no,
that.
no.
I think the year 2067 is going to be so confusing.
No, but
Or
John, here's the-
2069 or even worse.
I think we
we
just
get
keep
there.
it.
but John is trying to find meaning in it or like reason in it, right? But here's the thing, it's just whimsy. You know, it doesn't have to mean anything.
But I also think that I'm a bit afraid of the generation that is growing up with all this brain rot. Recently, I tried to have a conversation with some of the younger people, right? It's not possible. They cannot string a full sentence together, you know?
Yeah.
Could it be a drug thing? I feel like this year, right, we did a lot of drug
And
content. right?
intermediate thing.
And then I realized people that have not been on drugs for like maybe decades already, they also very hard for them to string a sentence together. And I realized, oh shit.
I think it was Gen X and older Gen Y parenting that I think we've started to correct, and I'm very hopeful that Ollie's generation will be the correction version
Okay,
of that.
okay,
I
okay.
hope lah. Honestly, unless we overcompensate.
All the hope is on you then.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Then
I think
between-
we swing between extremes though.
No, absolutely. Which is why I think we might overcompensate.
Yeah.
I'm just hopeful that the overcompensation looks better than this.
Okay, and on the note of children,
Oh,
what percentage of Singaporean students attend tuition?
You mother cock.
You just
really
compare.
from each other.
Show
Mother's
your-
cock.
He just want to.
Hey, we went for the same joke.
Oh,
Very original
71.
of this generation.
Raja, can you tell me your answer?
Hey, all quite close though.
8-9%.
Oh,
Yeah.
you all know that 8-9 is like that now?
No! Let's move on.
Okay.
swiftly.
Cut that out.
The answer is actually about 80%.
Yeah lah.
So you all two are
Yo.
close.
Okay.
You can pick during PSLE period. So
That's
you can go
terrible.
up to 90%.
That's crazy.
That's
That's so
that's
expensive
crazy.
now.
So like not
That's
all
crazy.
year round, like PSLE, then I go and
That means
enroll my
schools
kid.
are
Like
lacking. lah.
PSLE year.
Yeah. What does it say about the school system?
It says nothing about school season. It says something about
Parenting.
parents.
Yeah.
Because parents don't trust. And then once 2 or 3 kids have the advantage, now I feel like, I need to give my kid the advantage.
How high can you
Wild.
score, yeah?
No, but I think we
What's the
forget
highest grade,
that at the end of the day, the test is a test to distinguish. And so the test will need to be harder to distinguish people of wider spectrum. The arms race is between parents, not the school system.
So the
Exactly.
fun fact is that tuition is actually a $1 billion industry in Singapore, and collective expenditure is actually projected at more than 2 billion by the end of 2024.
Can anybody start a tuition center?
Yes.
Can any?
But but does anyone want to go to your tuition center?
Honestly,
You can
during
start-
poly, right, my tuition killed. Support me all the way through poly.
There's a lot of thought now, right? From experts who are saying like, why are we doing age-based like education anymore? Because it doesn't make sense. Now that we have AI, now we have technology, I think in 10 years' time or even 5 years' time, we should be able to cater to individual students and their own like growth.
No.
There was an interview that Jordan Peterson did that I thought was really, really good with this educator. So you don't have like literally grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 or like P1, P2, P6. You cater education to individual students.
Like
based on what
wherever
they're-
your curiosity takes you, then
Yeah.
they teach you about
So
it.
like maybe everybody, all the kids will learn the same thing from P1 until P4 or maybe P6 you get the foundation done, but from there you get an assessment that this kid is actually really good at arts and economics and he's really, really just bad at like, science, and then you cater the subjects around his
Wow,
strengths
I
already.
think education is so difficult because clearly I immediately don't agree with it. Like if you look at this, then I think most of us will all try and be athletes lah. Because the first subject that we flared at was PE. And everything else was just damn difficult. Like I sucked at math until I was 15. So I wouldn't have gotten advanced math.
The problem here is that there are kids who are really just not like good
Yeah,
at
yeah.
math, and you are
Yeah.
constantly giving them a fail grade, which then affects their morale across the board and across all subjects because they think I just am damn dumb.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
actually it's
yeah.
not the case.
But I think what I
Perhaps.
agree with is that primary school should give them more exposure to more subjects
Yeah.
versus in secondary school. But I only think that in secondary school, then you do the filtering.
You
Yeah.
think the kids can comprehend what you are teaching?
No, I think that you at least have a depth of, like, I think geography that you are learning on the surface versus what it's actually about, then you will discover your interest. So at least there needs to be a level of depth that at their age they can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kind of familiar with the new PSLE system?
Not at all, sia.
No, is it still copied?
During the PSLE period, I started like understanding this also because there was a lot of people that started to think that it's way more cutthroat when the whole point of this new banding system is to make it like better for development and then make it less stressful and blah blah blah. Then the whole system seems even harder. So I might be wrong. Basically, it's the L1, R4, L5 kind of system.
Yeah.
But they break it into even more grades. So it's in the past, during my time at least, 75 and above, you get A already. But now to get the 1 point, meaning A1, right? If I'm not wrong, it's like above 90 or above 85.
That's just the A star.
And so people held
Right.
on to that and just think that the system is harder now. But actually, if you look at it in the same way, as long if your kid's still 75 across the board, so they get aggregate 3 as opposed to 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, right? With 16 aggregate points, you still go into the band 1. Then the band 1 of the subject, so got G1, G2, G3. Yeah, which is the different grade level, like advanced
more
math and then
levels,
intermediate math and then simpler math, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, so then you still go into grade 1 even if it's a 3. But many people see that because it's so hard to get a 1 and a 2 point that the education system must be harder. But the whole point was that it was simply trying to find the genius. It's not meant for the chase.
Right.
Yeah, it is meant so that the system can spot geniuses.
But that's not how parents will see it.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to tuition my child until he becomes
Yeah.
the genius.
But if you can tuition a child
Yeah.
into genius
Then they will
without
spend
breaking
on-
the child,
The problem has to do with morale. So there were studies that were shown, right, when you had a star student go into university and they go to say Harvard, right, versus they go to a community college. Like this student, right, would have done the same average score across the board. You get 2 of them, right. The one that goes to Harvard and end up being like in the lower percentile or middle percentile, end up having a worse career track because they're so demoralized, right? Versus the person that goes to community college and becomes the star student there, they end up thinking that they are on top of the world. So I feel like when you put a kid like amongst all these like so-called geniuses because their parents have so much money to pay for tuition versus a low-income student who couldn't afford it and doesn't do as well, they're set up for worse in life. There's so much to discuss about this. Even like the whole idea of putting someone who was born in January and someone in December in the same year or so, because of like kids' brains don't even develop until like later on, right? December kids are way more at a disadvantage. You know, there's so much to get into this.
So what's
Yeah.
the best month to be born?
Over average, I believe, right? There was a study done that January to April kids do way better across like the years.
Because they had like a year of
What?
no,
Because
but
they had
it
way more.
normalizes after a certain age.
Yeah, but like at least for like 7, 8, 9, 10, particularly,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
As in, it's not an astrology thing lah.
Yeah,
It's just that they are
it's
literally
7
older.
months of development.
It's just in terms of development.
It's like
of the
you think
brain.
about dog years. Like a 1-year-old dog and a 2-year-old dog is very different.
yeah.
A 2-year-old dog is adult.
Have you all had a 31st December or 1st January friend before?
Yeah.
Because they get
My-
to choose which grade they want to go.
my
Oh!
If I'm not wrong. I had a classmate that was 1 year younger, but that was because she was born like 31st December, but she goes to my grade.
My niece and nephew is the December 31st and the January.
Whoa.
So at one point where this girl looked like starting to behave like a teenager, right? Even though like primary 1, primary 2, right? The other guy's still toddler, right? So it was extremely like everybody was worried for him. We all thought that maybe he got developmental issue.
Right.
But congratulations to Ian, we just found out he stopped 25% of his cohort.
Oi!
Well done, Ian!
So
Respect,
cute.
respect.
Does he still have his mushroom hair?
Both of them actually.
Moving on, after you go school, you
Alright.
go work.
Okay.
we go to work.
Wow, really got journeys, yeah.
What percentage of Singaporean workers live paycheck to paycheck?
I think it's going to be surprising.
This is according to the ADP Research People at Work 2025 report. 3, 2, 1, go!
45.
76%.
Yeah,
Ooh,
72.
much higher than I thought.
The answer is very close to Raja. About 60% of workers in
I mean,
Singapore
60 was
reported
my
living
first
paycheck to
one.
paycheck.
60%?
That's way too much,
Means
yeah.
they have no savings.
Like they struggle. Lor. Even among workers with multiple jobs, a majority still reported difficulty making ends meet.
You know what's the problem? I think we have a culture of comparison, right? Like we look at other people and then, wow, they're buying new shoes, they're buying new stuff. Then I feel like I need to do the same, right? And no need save lah. I'll get my raise and then that's when I start saving because my lifestyle is now like here, ma.
Do you also think that there could be a positive element to it in that Singaporeans trust the Singapore safety nets?
Yeah.
For retirement.
Yes,
Basically
daily
for
life,
future needs and or Singaporean trust the Singaporean dream, which is eroded in many countries.
What would you say is the Singaporean dream?
There will always be a way to catch up. There will always be social mobility. So then we look at people like Jack Ma, for example, where he age 44, then he start Alibaba, or whatever age, I forgot already. Or like Colonel Sanders in the US at age 60 plus, then he start KFC.
Yeah.
Like he can still make it. And maybe Singaporeans count Singapore as one of those places where I want to live my 20s. I YOLO my 20s, but when I want to get serious at 30, I can still make it.
I disagree in that
It's not a question. It's not a statement.
I have a different
Of
like
course,
side of
but
thing.
I know you
Yeah.
disagree.
No, it's because I saw this recently, and this applies, I think, globally. I don't think it just applies to Singapore or even Asia. It's that things are so out of control, they're so out of tailspin that nothing I save now, or no small amount of me being responsible is going to put a dent in anything. So go and buy that $7 latte because it's not going to put a dent in the fact that the houses get more expensive at a factor, like a magnitude that you cannot change.
This is my theory on why Gen Zs behave the way they do.
Yeah, so the people who are just going to spend off, like what's it going to do, right?
Because
And
they
they're
are unable to project 50 years ahead because you don't even know whether 50 years later the S&P 500 is going to be the dominant stock market per se, or the US will be the dominant power. You don't even know whether land in America will even be valuable. You don't even know America will still be called America because of all the things that are happening around the world. So it's more I just leave until kind of next week. That's my assessment of why they live their life. But then we contrast that into Singapore.
I agree with everything John said up until the part where it's different in Singapore.
Yeah.
Like I agree that
Sorry, not a statement.
yeah.
No, we all
Answer-
disagree with you.
I think that the Singaporean dream for my parents' generation, there was a very clear one, the 4 C's, or is it the 5 C's? Like
Five.
you have something to aspire towards. But now I don't think that there is a Singaporean dream anymore. I think it's just a anti-whatever culture. Like, or you think I don't want to save all this money, like for what? Like look at my parents, did they enjoy their life? I don't think so. And therefore I'm just gonna do what makes me happy in the moment.
But I think that what's closer to the truth is that inflation is simply moving at a faster rate than income. I think what's scary about AI that already functional in our lives is that the ads that target us today is way more advanced than the ads that target our parents 10 years ago. So the shit that we feel like we need to buy is 10 times more attractive than what our parents felt like they need to buy
And
at
last
that
time
age.
don't have e-commerce.
It's that pressure and that inflation plus slow income growth.
Okay, after we work, now we need to settle down. We buy house.
Yes.
How many first-time BTO applicants are fighting for a single 4-room unit, 4-room flat in a mature estate? So say I apply for this flat, how many people are fighting with me?
In 1 year?
It's like not
Oh,
charging,
in
ah.
one flat.
Yeah, in one flat. What estate?
Toa Payoh.
Toa Payoh, sure. I will want to say that like there are a first-timer and second-timer, they reserve different amounts
No,
of
it
flats.
could be. I don't laugh. I've been wrong.
He
for a lot
laughed
of
at my
numbers.
answers, yeah.
I've been wrong for a lot of numbers.
Wow, this guy.
Fuck, my number, it might be very
You know
high.
what?
How many
You know, I
applicants
saw
for
your
per
answer
unit,
and I'm going
Yeah,
to
per
change mine.
Per
unit.
lower.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, go.
Already?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Wait, what?
John's is
Oh, I think you
21,000.
misunderstood.
21,000
Per unit.
400.
Per unit.
Per unit.
One
Oh,
house.
I thought one complex.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's
Okay,
around
you
this.
give chance.
Sure, divide
What's
it
your
lah.
answer per unit?
Just take a zero away.
Then you purposely do 15.
No lah. Per unit
One per
will
room,
be 20.
Okay.
What was your answer, Raja?
15.5. Sorry.
Okay, so what's
I
the
don't know why I
answer?
came out 17.
Wait, let me think about this again. I want to say
too late.
Yeah.
3.
Okay,
I said 4 lah.
the answer is 5.
Ah, okay.
What?
5 to 7. 95% of 4-room flats in standard and plus categories are reserved for first-timers. So second-timers, right, actually have to fight for the remaining 5%. So
Yeah.
there, competition
I see.
jumps to maybe 40 to 70 per unit.
Means for the number of people who are applying, right, it's at least 5 times the number that ends up, like one in 5 get to have the unit. That's under
Okay, but it's
supply.
still not as bad as I thought.
No, but this is for mature estate, not for a foreign flat.
okay.
Meaning
Oh, and a lot of people
everybody wants the
prefer mature
Bishan, everybody wants the Toa Payoh, but nobody comes to Punggol.
And then I
Punggol
assume,
is first come, first get, you know?
You know, Sengkang is mature.
wait, I assume then this further split into the quotas, right?
Like the race quota.
Yeah, after this is split.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
So that's where like I get to stand out.
That's where the advantage.
There's
always
fewer
stand
of
out.
us
Right,
fighting
right.
for fewer, but I still get advantage.
So
on
see,
that.
no one talks about the advantage.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the
No, I'm
disadvantage.
trying to bring another light to this.
No, I think it's
Yeah.
a disadvantage.
Why?
I
Okay,
feel I
okay,
still
okay.
think I think the selling part is the biggest problem.
Ah.
Oh, I always sell the fellow minority.
I
Okay.
thought you don't have to sell to another minority.
It depends on quota lah. Like
Depend,
if,
yeah.
if a Chinese person sold a flat to let's say a Malay or Indian family,
Then
then
they
it
have
opens
taken
up.
your
Right?
quota for you.
Then it open up. I can sell to a Chinese person.
Sorry, but next year I'm most likely going to buy a house. Right?
Whoa.
I need help, but I don't understand a lot of these things.
Hey, you're 25 already.
You
right?
work in the right place. You
live,
know
ah.
who's coming?
Ooh, HDB.
No, go hire
Ministry of House.
Minister of National Development.
Housing. Okay, yeah.
The ministry that governs HDB.
Okay, I know what to do. Does he like coffee or tea?
Ministry of House is like a DJ club.
Croissants?
Okay, now we're gonna take a big U-turn. After I have house, I might have children, ma.
What is that?
What's that U-turn?
What is the leading cause of death among Singaporeans aged 10 to 29?
Oh my
So
God,
among
that's so
Singaporeans.
sad.
What's the leading cause of death?
Yeah. This has been the leading cause of death for the 6th consecutive year.
Oh, that is not my answer.
Damn, it's so sad.
Yes, this one.
You all wrote the same answer. Shit. Mine's the only one that's different.
Show your
I think it's
answer.
COVID. I should've laughed about that.
Unfortunately,
That's so sad,
answer is unalive. And
Damn, for the last 6
it's
years.
I was actually very surprised. The even sadder part is when I talk to the young kids in our office, right? They are totally not surprised. Like they tell me that actually a lot of the people that are around them feel this way. And this is backed up by statistics. So about 1 in 3 youths now report severe mental health symptoms. So under depression,
I
anxiety.
mean, the statistic alone is not that terrible. But if you see that it's growing, then honestly it's terrible. Because the statistic that suicide is the highest rate cause of death also means that healthcare is fine.
Yeah.
It also means that violent crime is fine. Yeah, you also feel like there is no diseases but
What
then the
is
stat
going
is growing,
so
which
wrong
is sad.
that what's going so wrong that is causing this? Because
Are we like considered one of the higher one internationally? Because I think in comparison also will make sense.
as compared to global, South Korea has a higher one, and then US, Australia also has historically higher one.
I know I always bring back parenting, but that's just because that's what my algo is, right? And a lot of people are actually now that we have years of data, a lot of people are pointing it back to gentle parenting as being the issue because you don't actually teach resilience to your kids.
Gosh.
Like at the
You
end of the
can't
day,
get anything right, eh?
like at the end of the day, if
How many more mistakes
if
you have
you
made?
actually look at what makes like resilient kids, or you look at resilient people today and they account back right to having strict parents or strict rules, and they end up appreciating their parents for it. Like I mean, if I look at it just anecdotally, some of my favorite teachers were some of my strictest teachers also. So I think it just really goes back to that. A lot of parents now think that they want to be liked, and so they want to be liked. They end up being overly gentle, and that doesn't teach your kids.
I don't know whether they
resilience.
want to be like. I think it's more of this part that they don't want to pass on this trauma. There was this thing that I keep hearing parents say, like, whatever my parents do to me, I will not do to my children.
Wait, do you think you're a gentle parent though?
I do think that I give in too much at the moment, and I catch myself, and I think Nat also calls it out jokingly.
No lah. I think
what do
at
you
this
give it-
age, it's not
No,
consequential.
of course. But that's how it starts, man. Because you don't catch yourself now, you're not going to catch yourself in the
Right.
future. So I think you just have to be very mindful of it. Because I think where the like part comes in is that I don't want my kid to slam the door and be like, I hate you. You know?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
sometimes you have to enforce the rules, man.
No doors.
No lah, but last time released like that, man, right? They remove the lock, then they remove
Next
the door
morning you
knob.
wake up,
yeah,
you
yeah.
like drill.
But-
But some drilling
the door.
Not gone.
But there's a line that must be drawn because it's not the same as, no gender parent equals like, beating.
Always,
No lah, like that's another extreme.
Yeah.
There's a way to enforce strict rules without having to resort to
Do
that.
you all
So
play good cop, bad cop?
it's too early.
What
You
does the
cannot-
literature say about a little bit of beating?
Like 6 or 7
the
times.
Bible
honestly don't know.
literature says okay.
Which literature?
Bible literature says okay.
I think there's a couple of things. So there is an increasing amount of stress because like social media hasn't been great, and I think I applaud Australia actually for banning like social media for kids under 16. But there's also this other element where is there a lot of stress because kids don't know how to deal with stress because they don't have resilience, and so it's an over-reporting of sorts of stress. What do you guys actually think about the Australian brand? Like under 16, you can't have social media.
I think that people will just find a way like how we used to make fake Facebook accounts even when it was banned.
But less so, like smoking, right? Still will be at least less than,
Does that not teach
now lah.
resourcefulness?
I think what's interesting about that law, or why countries like Singapore, for example, don't do it yet, countries like Australia do it, is that it's not meaningfully enforced. You can't meaningfully enforce it because you can just create a email account with a different age, and it's very easy to bypass it. But yeah, at the same time, I think what the Australian authorities are doing is that they're sending a message to parents that is very, very clear, because there are very, very mixed signals going out there. Like a lot of the CEO bosses are also saying, if you don't let your children play with technology now, by the time they are 16, 17, oh my god, I went to 6, 7 for no reason.
But
Like-
it is the age, yeah.
Yeah, by the time they hit 16, 17, right, they might be displaced because they don't have the very basic skills that many people have. So it's not about not exposing them to technology, it's exposing them to technology
culture.
in a safer way. Yeah, but I think what the Australian authority is sending is to say, like, all of us don't do it. It's a reset. Nobody do it. You don't feel like you are missing out in that sense.
Yeah,
But it's so challenging because half of our lives, or sometimes even more than half our lives, right, actually exist in the digital space. Not so much in like
But not really for the
reality.
children though.
No, but for everybody else. So then
Right.
for them to just be suddenly cut off and isolated.
I actually think
is
that
the
will
struggle,
change
ma.
for everybody else, because I think parents will now stop using their phones in front of their children a lot more because of this.
Yeah, and I think I think that
Kids
Singapore is
more.
important because like Lawrence Wong has come out to say that like the whole thing about no screen time and stuff like that. But it's hard for like parents to actually understand what does that even mean. Like have you been in a situation where I literally have to control a 3-year-old throwing a tantrum? Like I don't know if you have. So then Like this sends a very, very strong signal. This is what the dangers could be and this is what it means. And it's not like a complete ban on technology because there's some things that they are allowed to use. They are allowed to use YouTube Kids, for example. And that's a lot more curated and like narrowed down.
But I also think like the difference between last time and now is that last time there's a lot more communal living. We know our neighbors, or like even in Singaporean context, there's like a lot of kampong, a lot of housewives. So everybody the ladies will be at home cooking together, the children of the kampong are playing together, the men are working, and then there's that. But now we live so isolated lives, mom and dad both working, child's alone at home. It's not the same to say, okay, let's just remove tablet and then we can go back to in the past because the societal fracture has already happened.
Okay, speaking of entertainment, according to the Google Year in Search, what was the most searched Singaporean personality in 2025? Number 2 was Ian Fang.
I was going to say Ian Fang.
Way ahead of you.
Most searched.
I feel like I read this, so I don't know if
I went with
remember.
Simon Boy.
Same.
Whoa! And y'all didn't discuss. What did Dan and Raja go with?
Lawrence Wong. I initially put Ken Lim.
but I went with Ng Chee Meng.
The answer is Ng Chee Meng.
Oh, your MB.
I googled so many things about him this year myself.
Number 1, Ng Chee Meng. Number 2, Ian Fang. Number 3, Workers' Party, Alexis Dang.
Oh.
So actually quite a few people were actually interested in our elections. However apathetic
if
they
you're
might
Googling
seem.
Alexis, then you're going to interested in the election.
But number 4, Chee Soon Juan.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he
So
was
it
on
was
the
just
list.
Raja's search.
And so we conclude this quiz segment. You can put down your whiteboards that you may or may not have at home. But the next segment is also very exciting. We're going to be looking at the most controversial things that happened in Singapore this year. I mean last year.
Depending on when you're watching this, maybe 2027.
The year before.
To my grandson, thank you for coming. Our understanding of Singapore-Malaysia separation was wrong.
Why judge how someone decides how to commemorate?
Well, maybe a little bit of small tea.
Oh,
I'm so sad at the loss of our cultural institutions. Okay, so hopefully in my ideal world, those stores all fail. No harm to them. I don't care. Go back home. Like, I don't care.
Oh!
go back home.